She sat with my daughter in some guy's Porsche. She was sitting in the passenger seat of a Porsche. My daughter squeezed between her and a man I'd never seen before. The top was down, the sun was bright. And just before they sped off, she leaned out, waved, and shouted, "Good luck, loser! See you never!" Her laughter echoed as the car disappeared. My daughter laughed with her. My own flesh and blood, gone in a blur of dust and mockery. That was the moment I stopped being a father chasing approval. That was the moment I became something colder, something sharper. I married her young. She was magnetic, unpredictable, the kind of woman who could turn heads without trying. She said she loved my stability, my focus, my quiet ambition. I thought she meant it. And my daughter, my anchor, the reason I worked late, swallowed exhaustion, pushed through nights staring at budgets until my eyes burned. I wanted her to have more than I ever did. But love and effort mean nothing to people who feed on chaos. To them, loyalty is just a tool, discarded when something shinier rolls up in a Porsche. I pieced it together slowly. Bank withdrawals that didn't add up. Receipts for dinners I never ate. My daughter coming home with stories about Uncle Mark who took them to the beach. At first, I thought it was just her. A selfish affair, maybe. But when I dug deeper, I found the trail. Offshore accounts, shell corporations, wire transfers that reeked of fraud. Mark wasn't just her lover. He was a con artist. And she, my wife, was laundering his money through accounts tied to my business. If investigators came sniffing, I'd be the one wearing the cuffs. That was when the pain hardened into strategy. I didn't confront her. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I played the role of the clueless provider. I kept paying bills. I kept pretending to believe the excuses. Meanwhile, I collected screenshots, emails, bank records. I hired a quiet forensic accountant who owed me a favor. Every breadcrumb I found, I stacked neatly in a folder labeled insurance. Then I called in another favor, this one from a friend in federal contracting. He tipped me off to a massive infrastructure project about to drop. $20 million in play. I positioned my company, quietly, relentlessly, until the bid was mine. By the time I signed the government contract, she was gone, living in a rented house across town with her fraud king boyfriend. She didn't even notice I'd been sharpening knives in the dark. The FBI came for him first. A quiet morning, a convoy of black SUVs outside their house. I watched from a distance as they dragged Mark out in handcuffs. My wife screamed. My daughter cried. Cameras clicked. Neighbors whispered. The case against him was airtight. Fraud, wire transfers, tax evasion. My files had become the backbone of the investigation. I wasn't a suspect. I was the informant. She tried to call me that day. I let it ring. A week later, I got the contract confirmation, $20 million. Security, legacy, freedom, all mine. And then one evening, I heard the knock. I opened the door to find them standing on my front lawn. My daughter's eyes swollen from crying. My wife, disheveled, desperate. "Please," she said, "he's gone. I made mistakes. We can fix this." Behind her, my daughter whispered, "Dad, everyone makes mistakes. Can't we just go back? Can't we try again?" I studied her face. For a second, the old instinct tugged at me, the urge to protect her, to forgive her. But I'd learned the hardest truth. Love without truth is poison. I stepped inside, grabbed the envelope I'd been saving for this exact moment, and tossed it onto the porch. A DNA test. Her hands shook as she opened it. My daughter leaned in, reading, lips trembling. The truth hit her like a bullet. "She's not yours," I said, voice calm. "Begging won't change blood. Your real father lives in a trailer park in Portland. Here's his address." Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. My daughter's face crumbled. My wife gasped like I'd stabbed her, but no words came. I closed the door. That was the last time I saw them. I heard she visited the trailer park once, looking for the man who'd given her life but never once fought for it. She didn't stay. As for my wife, she floats between cheap motels, burned bridges, and whispered rumors. I don't follow. I don't care. Me? I sign checks. I build. I move forward. Sometimes, late at night, I think of that Porsche speeding away, her laughter in the wind, my daughter's hand weaving goodbye. But then I remember the porch, the test, the silence, and I know I won. Not with anger, not with fists, with truth, with patience, with precision. I am not the loser she shouted at that day. I am the man who buried her lies and walked away with everything.